All right, this is the grade 9 forfer that we worked on just before you left. Here are the answers to the question. So the first question is 1.5 take away 3 3/5. When doing this, the first thing you need to do is you got to change your mixed fractions into improper. So the easiest way to approach it would be to change it into this question. Use a common denominator, in this case 10. Make equivalent fractions, which would be this. And then, of course, keep your denominator, subtract your numerators. 15 take away 15 is 0, so 15 take away 36 would be 21. Negative 21 over 10, which is the final answer, will be negative 2 1/10. And your second question, you owe $1, you owe 83 cents and you have 5.97. So if you pay your debt off, the real question you're asking is how many more positives do I have than negatives? So take the amount of positives you have and subtract your negatives to figure out how many more positives you have. Therefore, you have this many more positives, and your answer will be positive 5.14. Since 0.24 is not a perfect square, you're to estimate what the square root of that number is. In order to do so, use a number line where there are two perfect squares on either end. In this case, use these ones. Oh no, sorry, that's wrong. Wrong. That would be over here. 0.25 square root is 0.5. And the square root of 0.16 would be over here, which is 0.4. 0.24 would be there, which makes it 0.49, 0.48. If you check with a calculator, what is the square root of 0.24? 0.49. So pretty close. And the last two questions, they are perfect squares. Now remember, if you have a mixed fraction, you're asked to find the square root of it, and it is a perfect square. Change it into the square root of its improper fraction. What fraction multiplied by itself was that? Well, 5 times 5 is that. 4 times 4 is that. So therefore, what is the square root of 6 1/4? The answer is 1 1/4. Or 1 1/4 times 1 1/4 equals 6 1/4. And therefore, the square root of that is 1 1/4. And your last question, what is this number? It's tenths, hundred thousandths, 10 thousandths. This is the same question. So when you have a decimal fraction, or decimal square root, change it to a fraction. What fraction multiplied by itself is 4? That would be 2 and 2. And what number multiplied by itself is 10,000? That's 100. So therefore, the square root of that is 2 hundredths. So square root of 4 10,000ths equals 0.02. Take your calculator just to double check. Oh, that's not the right button. Let's try that again. Square root of 0.004 square root is 0.02.